I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I got a baby face, call it.
What's going on, y'all? This is Terrance, and welcome you to another edition of Terrance Hill TV, presented to you by WTV. Today, we're here to talk about Diddy, indicted, denied bail. Knew this day was coming. Did videos about this months ago. It's been kind of silent for a while, but again, we knew this day was coming. Definitely going to get into the news and talk about it. Before we get into all the news pertaining to Diddy, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell as well. And let's get into all the information pertaining Sean Diddy Combs.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering.
Going straight to jail. Just no bond. Like, they didn't. I think he was willing to put up $50 million. They said no. Like, they consider him a flight risk, and they're just not taking that particular chance.
Show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him and what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
I don't understand. Like, record them for what? What are you going to do? Masturbate and watch them? Like, why are you recording these freak-off sessions? I remember the whole thing with R. Kelly as well. Like, why are they filming this stuff? Like, why do you want to have this evidence laying around? Again, I'm not trying to give him no way out of this if he's guilty. I mean, it's foolish, but I just don't understand. Why are you filming this stuff? It doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm not into that. So I don't process why people do that type of stuff.
Prosecutors say Combs punched and kicked his victims to try to keep them under control. He'd also, they say, filled them up with drugs like ketamine and ecstasy for long periods of times, even using incriminating records to try to...
Let me pause right here. This photo right here, this is a troubling photo to me. I look at this picture of him respectfully. He looks literally like a crackhead in this photo to me. Like, he doesn't look right here. Like, I can tell just looking at this photo, he doesn't look healthy. Like, something is going on. And it's just sad, man, to see this fall from grace, to see all of this. Now, again, I'm not there, but just definitely seeing that video with Cassie, it's just ridiculous. And then you go on to all the stuff with Kid Cudi and some of these other things that we've been hearing for years. And then, come on, I mean, those of us who are Tupac fans, we haven't forgotten 1994. We haven't forgotten 1996. So all this stuff has just become like a domino effect.
And manipulate his victims. Prosecutors say they discovered this wide range of evidence against Combs in several raids. They found things, they say, like AR-15s, narcotics, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Raids. They found things, they say, like AR-15s, narcotics, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants.
1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant? What?
We should note here that an attorney for Combs says that he, I'm quoting here, will fight this with all of his energy. His team is already planning to appeal the bail ruling, meaning they will be back in court tomorrow, as Combs has, as we mentioned, pleaded not guilty. We've got team coverage. Laura Jarrett standing by with the legal analysis piece of it.
Well, I mean, he's definitely got the resources to fight it, but it's just going forward, man. I don't know. This is a lot. It's a lot.
But I want to start outside court with Julia Ainsley, because, Julia, this went fairly late into the day. I know you've been at the courthouse as a judge, as we've just learned, is denying this request for bail. Explain why that is and what else we've learned today.
Yeah, that's right. We were in there for about 2 hours as the Justice Department from the Southern District of New York laid out their case, very similar to what you saw in the indictment, saying why he should not be released, because they say that he is a flight risk, he could leave the country, and also that he has a history of obstructing justice. They also pointed to how serious these crimes were, that with previous allegations of sex trafficking like R. Kelly and...
What does that mean? He has a previous history of obstructing justice. That's interesting.
Jeffrey Epstein, the judges also denied bail in that case. But his
all right, look at his charges: racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution. See, all this stuff, like different, artists and stuff. Oh, bring girls from Miami to LA or LA to Miami and all this, these things. Or flying escorts in and things like that. It's the Mann Act. I mean, so when a woman goes across state lines for immoral purposes, it's identified as the Mann Act.
Defense laid out a very lengthy rebuttal to all of that. We heard them say that this is different from Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly because there are no minors being alleged in the indictment here. They also say that these acts were consensual, and they point to victim number one, who's named over and over again, who they say is someone within a 10-year relationship with Combs that was toxic but consensual. They said that this person actually tried to sell this same story as book rights to Combs to try to get it out of the media's eye, but instead when he refused, then this civil lawsuit came up. But the judge ultimately said that he could not be released because he is a danger, he has a history of substance abuse and anger issues, and she really drilled down on the fact that after those civil allegations came out last November, he talked to multiple women who he knew during that period and who he apparently tried to change their narrative so they wouldn't go forward and continue testifying or being witnesses to some of these acts that were alleged in the civil complaint and then were again put in the indictment.
Yeah, like when he did that apology video, it didn't make any sense. And of course he scrubbed his Instagram, but when I did my other video, there's just years of stuff that he was talking about and none of these things, denying the allegations and, oh, I'm going to fight this and none of this stuff just kind of panning out. The thing that I've always eyeballed him about was the way he treated his artists. I remember he was on the Breakfast Club. Oh, if anybody can prove that I owe them, I'm going to pay them within 24 hours and the thief should have his hand cut off and all this stuff. Then we find out that the artists that got their masters back, it wasn't worth anything at that particular point. I mean, so it's like, really, like, if you're worth 900 million, I'd rather be worth 800 million knowing that I don't owe anybody anything, knowing that I did the right thing, paying people the money that they deserve to be paid. So the lying part, I can definitely kind of see what they're talking about
today. And so she said in order to keep that from happening and really to end sex trafficking, since that can happen behind closed doors, it was best to keep him detained without bond.
Julia, it is, I think for a lot of folks, they will find this stunning considering that Diddy, right, Sean Combs, has been previously one of the most successful music superstars in the world. Just a year ago, he was handed a key to New York City. Now here we are after months of this being out in the public, these allegations being made public, his denials. He's potentially facing 15 years to life in prison. What does the timeline look like here?
Well, we understand that tomorrow they'll try to appeal the judge's decision. His defense will do that tomorrow at 3:30. They'll meet again next week for a conference, and then perhaps we'll be looking at a trial early next year. But Hallie, I have to say what you said there was also striking. I mean, I watched him today sitting there very humbly in court in a black T-shirt, nodding along with his defense, otherwise just looking very stoic, straight ahead at the judge. It's hard to imagine this is the same man, but the timeline is also staggering. It's one thing to think, oh, that was something that happened a long time ago. But the prosecution today said that these acts, what they're calling sex trafficking and coercion, all continued up until this year, Hallie, and started as far back as 2009. So this was not a brief window.
Julia Ainsley live for us there outside court in New York. Can you just give a sense really quickly, Julia, before I let you go? Is it just a scene there? I mean, I have to imagine, given who Sean Combs is, it is just a crush of cameras, a crush of people.
It is. It's been really crowded today, and there have been people who've been driving by, sometimes screaming, "Free Diddy." Someone else stood up earlier and said Tupac would be ashamed of Diddy. It's been a lot of people, a lot of public interest here. I will say the court wasn't as crowded as I thought, but still nearly full, and also full of his friends and family who came out.
It's a lot. It's a lot there. I'm just gonna, sit back and see what goes on. I just want to get everybody's thoughts and comments and opinions about it. I've made a video about it. You can definitely go back and look at it. That's giving some commentary of my thoughts over time. Again, the Cassie thing was very telling, and then you fast forward to, if Kid Cudi did confirm that. So we're talking about violence and all this stuff over a woman, and then control of medical records and all this type of these things. The altercation with Drake, we can go on and on. This is a very powerful man. So when you got someone like Tupac back in that time disrespecting them, really going hard, Keefy D is saying stuff. Again, I don't know, but I've always suspected the connection there. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what your opinions are about this particular story. I do find it troubling that these guys got videotapes of this stuff, the lube, the drugs, the guns. I mean, and then the other thing too, I'll land my plane on this. And I think there was another case recently. Oh, it was Matthew Perry when he passed away, how the personal assistant and some other people were indicted and looked at on this on that particular case. I think this case and other cases going forward, beyond just the celebrity being indicted, personal assistants, bodyguards, people that are complicit and enablers, those people need to be locked up as well. Now, again, it doesn't mean that if one or two women are not telling the truth or just looking for a payday, that doesn't mean that there are not other women who really have a legitimate claim. So we're going to definitely look back and keep up with the story and see how it unpacks and unfolds, but it doesn't look good at all for Diddy. Before we get out of here, those who want to connect with me on other social media sites, you can find me on Instagram at Terrance Hill the Great, Facebook Terrance Hill, Snapchat T Hill the Great, X formerly known as Twitter, I'm in the Hills, TikTok Elevate with Terrance, and those that want to donate to our efforts, the Cash App is Terrance Hill Music. Again, those that want to donate to our efforts, the Cash App is Terrance Hill Music, and I have two websites, www.doubleetv.com, that's with two E's, and terrancehill.com as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this particular segment. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, please. Hit that like and subscribe button and notification bell, and we will keep up with the story, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.
I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I'm so high with no edibles. You ask how does it feel? It's incredible. And now I'm standing on my pedestal. Y'all got no morals, y'all unethical. I got a baby face, call it whip.